Welcome to the second part of the video series about the Derrynaflan Trail. Since the last video, the first one, I have added a few more details in Killenaule using the pillory and also information from a friend who actually lives in Killenaule, so I have street names now. Yay. And I've added the graveyard around the Heritage Centre because it was a church, there is a graveyard around it, and some of the businesses. There is allegedly, according to the Derrynaflan Trail brochure, also a public toilet in the Heritage Centre. I would like to confirm that before I add it to the map, but that would be also very important when you're going on a trail like that, in my opinion. I've also added the chipper that I kind of remembered where it was, but my friend in Killenaule confirmed the location, so it's there. Again, important when you're going on an adventure to have food. Today I'm going to talk about St. Mary's Church, and it's here, it's the Catholic Church. The other one used to be the Protestant Church. And the Derrynaflan Trail brochure has a few things to say about it, and you can read that in your own time. I'll put the link in the video description. The name is already mapped, you probably saw that, but it also mentions the architect J.J. McCarthy from Dublin. Not a very Dublin name, but anyway. So I want to add that. And I've looked him up on Wikipedia. JJ is not, I can't really guess what his proper name is, so I just put in McCarthy Architect, and down here I saw a James Joseph McCarthy, so I think that's probably him. Where's he gone? Here. And I've checked the website. It doesn't mention the Killenaule Church, but that's not surprising. But he has a couple, like there's one in Thurles that he designed as well, and that is in Tipperary, and I haven't looked through them for the rest, but I would just presume that that's him. And I'll add his name to the church. So I'll go in on OpenStreetMap and highlight the church. So it's a Christian church. I mean, it's a church, so of course it's Christian, and the denomination is Roman Catholic. That's already done. I'll add the city, and the street is Bailey Street, according to my friend. And then down here, where all the tags are, I can add architect. And James Joseph McCarthy. James Joseph McCarthy. And then I can also add the Wikipedia link to the architect. You might have seen that in the drop-down menu. Wikipedia. And I'll just copy his name here, and I could have just typed it again. And when you add a Wikipedia link, you have to add the language code in front, so it's just EN for English, and then you can add the name, and then it should turn up here somewhere, or not. Maybe it doesn't do that for Architect Wikipedia. It does for just the Wikipedia link. He seems to have a Wikidata number. Oh, yes. So I got that by, sometimes you have this little template here. Wikicommons has media related to J.J. McCarthy, and that usually means that they have a Wikidata number as well. And you find that here in the info box, it starts with the Q. So I'm just going to copy that as well. And architect : Wikidata. I've done this for some other heritage site before. I just thought I'd include it here. And then if the church had, I'm just going to go back to Wikipedia. If the church had a Wikipedia article, I could link that as well. But there is no category Killenaule, so I presume there's not a single article about anything in Killenaule. But maybe I only checked Wikicommons for Killenaule. So if I look, category : Killenaule, hurlers and Gaelic. Well, that's very useful for me. So I'll give up at that point. What I can do now on OpenStreetMap is add it to the relation that I added earlier. And what's important here is, and that's gonna be difficult later on when I go further away from Killenaule. The object, there has to be an object of the relation on screen, if you get me. So I've zoomed out a bit, I think you saw that, so that the Heritage Centre is on my screen as well, because otherwise the relation won't show up in the list here. And I'll just, you see here, area Derrynaflan Trail, and I'll also add the outer role. If I wanted to add the graveyards, because here there are some of the graves mentioned, if I wanted to add that to the relation, I could do that, but then I think I would have to use outer role for the graveyard and inner for the church, especially here, because the church is within that area, so I won't do that. I might try it here, and if I do it wrong, it might give me an error message. This graveyard doesn't enclose the whole church, so maybe I'm getting away with that. I also added the parking here for the Heritage Centre. There's also parking here, but I can't quite make it out. What I can't do now, unfortunately, is I can't add those graves that are mentioned here. I might go to Killenaule at some point during this project and find the exact locations, because it just says behind the church is the grave of, and that's not really good enough. What I cannot do also, what I also cannot do, and I would really like to do that, is add the stained glass window artist, because there are Harry Clark windows in that church and they're all over the place. And there are also the Meyer & Co studio stained glass windows. I think that's the same company that did the one in the Black Abbey in Kilkenny, but I might be confusing it with a different church. But it would be really nice not to be able just to add the architect to a church, but also the stained glass artist. And there is a tag for windows, and I guess one could just add artist to the window tag then. I don't know. I'll bring it up in the community and see what other people have to say about that. But I think that would be a really neat thing to be able to filter OpenStreetMap for a certain stained glass window artist. I mean, they have to be all mapped, of course. But I think that would be interesting, especially in a context where this is mentioned here in this church, and I don't know if there are going to be any other churches that are still being used. Most of them will be ruins, I think, on this trail. But it would be nice. Anyway, I think that's all I can do for now, and I'll save this, and I'll use the hashtag again, before I forget. Do it first. What was the hashtag? Derrynaflan Trail. And I've added details to church, added building and graveyard relation. And I think that's all I did. Yep. Sources, I can add this again. Yeah, and then I'll upload that. And that won't really change anything in the rendering, so there's really no point in waiting for it to update. And thank you for watching, and I hope you're enjoying the series, and if you have any ideas or suggestions, let me know in the comments below in the video or on the Facebook page OSM for History Buffs. Thank you very much. Bye!